had to say. Again, Trump's own Assistant Attorney General for National Security, quote, "The United States has long emphasized the importance of innovation and is responsible for an incredible amount of cutting-edge technology, such as the advanced computer chips that make modern AI possible. This advantage isn't free, but rather the result of our engineers and scientists' hard work and sacrifice. The National Security Division, along with our partners, will vigorously enforce our export control laws and protect this edge," end quote. The president's most basic duty is to protect the economic and national security of the American people. And instead, President Trump is bowing to foreign dictators like Xi Jinping and selling out our national security to billionaire corporate interests that pay for special White House dinners and a gold-plated ballroom. Never before has a president and a tech CEO so brazenly conspired against the interests of the American people. Congress has a responsibility to stop it and stop it now. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.
I recognize the senator from Alabama.
I came to the floor earlier this year to warn of the imminent threat that Islam poses to our great country. Unfortunately, that threat turned into reality just a few weeks ago when a deranged jihadist shot two of our National Guardsmen just steps from the White House. Just before Thanksgiving, Specialist Sarah Backstrom and Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf were on patrol near the White House when they were attacked by a Biden-imported Afghan Islamist. A 29-year-old jihadist radically, viciously attacked them, killing Specialist Backstrom and leaving Staff Sergeant Wolf in critical condition. He's still fighting for his life today. Our prayers go out to him and his family. So let's make it very clear. The Afghan terrorist attacked these two shoulders because that is what Islam teaches. The Quran says to kill all infidels. That means all people who don't believe in Islam. So let's not mince words about this. Islamists want every single American, and especially Christians, Americans, they want them dead. In 2021, Joe Biden orchestrated the botched Afghan withdrawal, which was one of the most embarrassing days in our country's history. 13 American soldiers lost their lives as a direct result of the Biden disastrous, misinformed leadership. Not to mention, he empowered the Taliban, who came crawling out of the hills to back control of Afghanistan. To make matters worse, Joe Biden then allowed more than 190,000, repeat that, 190,000 unvetted Afghans into this country, no questions asked. So, not to mention the more than $7 billion in equipment that was left behind for the Taliban, which is, by the way, is now showing up all over the world after it's been sold. These potential terrorists are now living amongst us, residing in our neighborhoods, going to our kids' schools and mooching off our taxpayers' benefits. That withdrawal was an embarrassment and a stain on our country. The 29-year-old deranged terrorist who shot 2 National Guardsmen in D.C. was working with the CIA in Afghanistan and was part of an elite unit that was supposed to be helping fight our nation's enemies. Clearly, this person was deranged and should never have been allowed to work with our intelligence agencies or to come to the U.S., where he viciously attacked 2 American guardsmen. While chanting Allahu Akbar, make no mistake, this is part of the deep state's globalist agenda that aims to destroy this country through mass Islamic migration. Where's the outrage from the people in this chamber? I hadn't heard it. If we don't do something to stop this Islamic takeover of our country, we will soon be called the United Caliphate of America. If the previous administration prioritized protecting American citizens instead of inviting terrorists to our country, Sarah Backstrom may still be alive today. Thanks to President Trump, a travel ban has been placed on Afghans along with people from 18 other third world countries, including Somalia. And I've got a message to the immigrants from these Islamist countries. If you hate this country, refuse to go by our laws, and chant death to America, it's time to go home. There's a lot of good people that come from Middle Eastern countries and go by our laws and assimilate with our culture. But if you come here otherwise, it's time to go home. The Trump administration is also prioritizing the deportation of Afghans who are already here illegally. You know, I'm 100% behind President Trump's effort to rid of all the Islamists who hate our country, as I just previously said. Take advantage of the system when you come here. Don't defraud our government. Don't come here to try to destroy us. Assimilate with the Americans in this country to make our country better. We should be welcoming immigrants who are willing to assimilate with our culture and to contribute to our society. That's what we want. Being in this country is a privilege, not a right. If you're an immigrant coming to this country, you need to leave your old way of life and the traditions behind and come here and work with us. Unfortunately, many of the Islamists who are here are not doing that. They're doing whatever they can to turn our country into the third world hellhole that they came from. We are different. We want a great country, not a third world country. These foreigners don't understand what this country stands for. This country owes you nothing but an opportunity to succeed. It doesn't owe you a handout. Islamist immigrants come to this country with a sense of entitlement. And that's what this country is not about. We'll give you a hand, but not everything. They believe the American people owe them something, and we don't owe anybody anything. They take advantage of our system. If this is your attitude, we don't want you here. We want you to help this country become better. The Somali population in Minnesota, as we've been watching on the news for the last few days, is an example of a group that thinks they're entitled to take anything they want from the American people and force Americans to bow to their will. Somali immigrants in Minnesota were recently caught stealing more than $1 billion and counting from American taxpayers. Stealing. They pretended to be using the money to feed children or help people with autism, but really they were stealing. They were stealing the money and sending it to terrorists in Somalia, all proven. This is pure evil, and it's straight from the pit of hell. Terrorists are driving around in Toyota Land Cruisers in Somalia, bought and paid for by the American taxpayers. Fox News recently reported that members of Minnesota's Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar's inner circle, people working for her, were personally profiting from this fraud. Omar held at least one event at one of the restaurants named in the massive fraud scheme. And by the way, one Congresswoman, Omar Stafford, has already been convicted for his role in the fraud. It runs very deep. All of this is taking place inside of Omar's congressional district, and she's doing everything she can to defend these Somalia criminals. These people were empowered by woke and clueless so-called Governor Tim Walz, whose government handed the funds to these Somalia criminals, turned a blind eye. For example, one of the scams run by the Somalia nonprofit disguised itself as a housing assistant program. Sounds great. The initial budget for this program was $2.6 million. However, the annual budget quickly increased to over $100 million due to fake billing and fraud. And whose money is that? The American taxpayers. There were red flags all over the place. Tim Walz had every opportunity to see this, investigate, and stop this fraud and corruption. Instead, he looked the other way. That makes him complicit. He should go to jail for this. Anybody else would. And now he's trying to deflect by calling those who are angry about the Somalian fraud racist. Sure they do. That's the word they always use. This has nothing to do with racism. Somali immigrants stole more than $1 billion and counting from the American taxpayers. Again, proven. That should make every single American's blood boil. Democrats invite terrorists from all over the world into this country. They let them steal our benefits, enjoy our schools, overrun our hospitals, vote in our elections, and then steal our tax dollar to send back to their home countries to fund terrorism. By the way, I've seen all of these woke Democrats like Omar calling Somalia a wonderful place. If it's such a wonderful place, why doesn't she move back? If Somalia is all that, why is the terrorist group Al-Shabaab murdering Somalian civilians by the masses? And why is the capital of Somalia considered to be one of the most dangerous capitals in the world due to frequent terrorist bombings, targeting killings, and ambushes? That sounds like a place no one would ever want to visit or live. Predictably, Somalians often flee their country, and woke Democrats welcome these often unvetted individuals with open arms to the United States through illegal programs. But they make no attempt to adapt to the way in our American lives. Instead, they try to turn whatever American city they are hiding out in into Somalia 2.0. Thankfully,
How would make the people of that state pay the taxpayers back? How would that make them make better choices? High octane. Please explain what you mean by better choices.
the Trump administration is working around the clock to reverse the evil open borders agenda that was allowed to thrive under Joe Biden's administration. Look, despite what the woke media will tell you, President Trump is not anti-immigration. President Trump is incentivizing and welcoming immigrants into the country who are going to come here to contribute and assimilate and love our country like we do. That's what we're all about. And if that is not you, if they don't want to do that, again, we don't want you here. The Trump administration has worked tirelessly this year to arrest and deport millions of illegals brought into the country by the Biden administration. Patriotic Americans are thankful for the work with DHS and ICE of what they're doing to clean up our streets. If we don't take this threat seriously, more terrorist attacks will take place, more stories of third world Islamists defrauding our country and using tax dollars to fund terrorism against the United States will become commonplace. DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, released a report not long ago about the imminent threat of terrorism that is facing our country. It's here. The recent terrorist attack in D.C. may just be the beginning of Islamic plans to destroy this country. The 29-year-old psychopath who did this should be hung in the streets. We need to send a message to every terrorist hiding out in this country, just waiting to attack. We're not going to put up with this nonsense.
But that don't mean we gonna be hanging people in the street now. Let's stop getting out of pocket. You going too far.
You will be punished to the fullest extent of the law if you commit violence against American citizens. It's time to wake up.
We had a rule of law. We don't live in Islam. We don't live in no fucking Afghanistan. We live in a civilized society. Civilized society has due process. Don't get to talking wild.
And it's time for all Americans to speak up. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is an American issue. That's why I raised hell when I heard the Islam Academy of Alabama was looking to build a bigger campus in Hoover, Alabama just last week. You know, I looked at their website. They openly admit that they teach the Quran. The Quran teaches that it is righteous to kill anyone who is not a Muslim. Think about that. The media is calling me a racist for calling this out. Radical Islam isn't a race. It is a political ideology, and it is a cult. So no, I'm not a racist, and people back in Alabama agree with me. I was proud to see hundreds of Alabamians show up to protest at the zoning meeting where the building proposal was being considered. I was asked about it, and I said the only place this Islamic Academy should be moving is out of Alabama and out of our country.
Why the hell would somebody even attempt to bring that shit here? What is he talking about? I gotta look that up.
We don't want that taught. Come here and assimilate with our laws. Go by our laws, nobody else's. As a result, this Islamic school withdrew their proposal. This is an example of what's going to take to defeat this poisonous ideology. This is an example of what we do not want to deal with. It's going to take all of us, red-blooded Americans, coming together and saying enough is enough. Europe has lost the war of immigration. It is no longer recognizable in a lot of the countries in Europe.
You want my help? I'm a brown person. You want my help?
Mass immigration by Islamists has ruined their way of life. They turned a blind eye, like we are at the moment, and are going to have to fight in the streets to get their countries back. It's coming. And that is exactly what's going to happen in this country in a few short years if we don't act now to save our country and our way of life. I achieved the greatest honor of my life this year, receiving the title of grandfather to Rosie Grace, my first granddaughter. And I want her to grow up in the same America that I had the opportunity and privilege to grow up in. If we don't stand up now, our grandchildren's future is going to be lost forever. We have to draw the line in the sand. You're either an American who loves this country or you're not. It is the job of the DOJ, the DHS, the FBI to arrest these people, these terrorists, these radical terrorists, and either put them in jail or send them home. Now's the time. We do not need to let the clock run out on us. Let's do not be Europe. Next year may be too late. Mr. President, I yield the floor.
The clerk will call the roll.
Uh-oh.
Ms. Alsterbrooks.
Yeah. What is you talking about? It's over. I don't understand. This doomsday shit. It's always about some doomsday shit. What's over? I don't understand. What they voting on? Quorum call. Okay. Hold on. They doing something. I don't know what they doing. Uno momento. Damn it. Hold on. Uno momento. What they voting on? Hello, Johnny boy. Hello, hello. Christian terrorists are no better. You right about that. Christianity, when they get bizarre, like they're trying to get bizarre around here, when like they're trying to bring it out of everybody and make it seem as though we're trying to go against Christians. It's the same goofy shit they talking. Nobody wants that extreme shit at all. Either way, nobody wants that extreme stuff. These people are voting on, well, what's the score? Republicans, no. Democrats, yeah. I wonder what this bill is about. They always want to vote against, they always want to go vote along party lines, but they don't never want to do nothing for the American people. Now we stealing tankers, are we? They always doing something fucked up. Why they can't never work for the American? Why they can't never work for the American people? I swear they can't never work for the American people. It's always this fucking gridlock. It's always fucking gridlock for no fucking reason. They can't agree on good stuff for the people. I don't understand why y'all just can't never agree on good stuff for the people. If this is something that is good for the people, I don't understand why y'all just don't allow it to go on here. Just always doing some shit, always doing some bullshit, but never doing the right thing for the American people. This chick right here. Hold on. For the bulk of the people. Just wild. For the bulk of the people. Hold on. It's always something. It's never nothing. They can never agree to do something for the American people. They just ain't gonna do right by the freaking American people. Always something fucked up. Always got to be at odds with each other. All of us want health care. All of us want make sure poor people.
Hello, everybody.
Blah, blah. They can never do the
Good
right
afternoon.
thing.
Hello. Some new faces in here today. As we approach the end of the year,
I don't care what y'all say. This woman lied through her teeth every time she come in that fucking room. She lies every time she comes in the room. I can't stand this shit.
it is a great time
Never thinks about the American people and whether we want to hear the truth. It's always lies when they jump in this room.
to reflect on how much progress our country has made under President Trump's bold leadership. Given the complete mess that President Trump inherited from Joe Biden and radical left Democrats in Congress, what this administration has accomplished since January 20th has been nothing short of remarkable. While most politicians promise big on the campaign trail and break those promises once they get into office, President Trump promised big and has delivered even bigger. On the economic front, after inheriting the worst inflation crisis in over 4 decades, President Trump's pro-growth policies are making tremendous progress to make America affordable again. Under the painful Biden years, inflation reached a record high 9% and devoured Americans' purchasing power. In President Trump's term thus far, inflation has dropped to an average of just 2.7%, marking.
I don't understand how you got the free press sitting right in front of you, and none of them challenges what she says. She just comes out, lies, and then she leaves. And nobody challenges what she says. This is what I don't like, because I can't trust this administration because they lie like this. Not all of them lie. This is one who really, really lies. This one really, really lies. Everybody and their mama know that prices have not went down.
President Trump has also delivered resoundingly on his promise to end.
Everybody know that, and everybody sit there and look at him like, oh, she just said prices are down. We know fucking well prices ain't down. Everybody knows that shit.
War on American energy and make sure our country has reliable and affordable energy produced.
President don't have nothing to do with gas. Why I gotta keep telling people that?
Right here at home. As a result, the nationwide average for regular gas just fell to its lowest level in nearly 5 years. According to data from Gas Buddy released on Monday, average gas prices have now.
President don't have nothing to do with gas. This is the gaslighting I fucking can't stand.
Dipped below $3 per gallon in 37 states, below $2.70.
Gas fluctuates on their own. It has nothing to do with them. There's no reason for her to even be talking about gas.
$75 per gallon in 22 states and below $2.50 per gallon in 5 states. Just a few years ago, we saw record high price gas of nearly $5 per gallon. American families faced constant pain at the pump, and those costs caused the price of everything else to go up as well. In fact, the average cost for a gallon of regular gas in the country was the most expensive price during a presidential term in U.S. history.
I knew bird flu had something to do with the eggs. I knew that. Eggs ain't down or up because of Trump. Trump had nothing to do with eggs, just like he has nothing to do with gas.
Under Biden's disastrous leadership, even with them recklessly draining our strategic reserves to try and artificially decrease prices. But thanks to President Trump, those days are long behind us.
Yeah, we need to steal some of them oil tankers. Let's do that. Let's steal some of the oil tankers and then start giving out gas. Let's build a pipeline from Venezuela all the way over here. Let's do that. The president is corrupt enough. He's more than enough of a degenerate to do it. Let's do it. Yeah, there you go. We need our gas prices lower than $2. Yeah, let's do that.
In the months ahead, Americans can expect prices to fall even further. We know that when gas gets cheaper, everything else gets cheaper too. And
no, that ain't how that works. That ain't how that works.
That's what this president is focusing on. Americans can also expect another boost to their bank accounts in the months ahead as 2026 tax refund season is upon us after the holidays, and it's projected to be the largest ever thanks to President Trump's passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill. According to recent analysis from Piper Sandler, when Americans file their taxes early next year, their refunds could be about 1/3 larger than usual, or roughly an extra $1,000 per filer. That is money straight into the pockets of the American.
Okay, so we gonna come back here come March, and I better fucking see people with bigger refunds than they fucking got, at least 1/3. Otherwise, you getting cussed out.
American people.
But then again, y'all believe the shit they say, so I know they don't. I know this shit is lying. I know she lying. I know she lying.
It's only because of President Trump and Republicans' leadership that Americans will now pay no tax on tips, overtime, and Social Security. President Trump and Republicans.
First of all, most of us ain't old enough to get Social Security. Second of all, most of us don't work for tips. So, and third of us, that freaking no tax on overtime is under the deduction portion of taxes, and most people don't do the itemized deduction of taxes. So none of that means anything to us.
Republicans believe hardworking Americans deserve to keep more of their hard-earned money, but Democrats, on the other hand, every single one of them voted against these massive tax cuts. So remember that the next time Democrats
Why do y'all think tax cuts, it puts money in the poor people's pocket? Why do y'all think tax cuts put money in poor people's pocket? It don't put money in poor people's pocket. Jesus.
try to talk about affordability. Democrats don't have a single clue about how to make America more affordable. They just spent the last 4 years creating the very affordability crisis that President Trump is fixing right now. And if given the chance of power ever again, the Democrats will implement those same policies and jack inflation right back up to where it was. Finally, at the border, President Trump has restored America's sovereignty and made our country safe again. This is the single greatest and fastest national security victory in modern American history, and it's not even close. The latest preliminary numbers released from the month of November show we have the most secure border in our nation's history. This is a remarkable achievement. November encounters came in even lower than the previous historic low in October, if you can believe it. There were only 30,367 total encounters nationwide. That's lower than the previous record.
Okay, let's get to the nitty-gritty. Where's the jobs reports y'all should have gave us? Where's the last 3 jobs reports that we supposed to know about? Let's get to the nitty-gritty. Stop running your mouth about bullshit, all the positive shit. Tell us how many jobs we lost, because I know it's about 150K. Tell us how many we done lost. It's about 150K. I know it's almost 1 million since he took office. I know it's about 1 million jobs that have been lost since he took office. Why don't you tell us how many been lost in the last 3 months? Seeing as how you all don't know how to tell us the truth about that. Yeah, all positive shit. Ain't a damn thing negative in that report. Did y'all hear anything negative in that report? Wow. And I need to see those 3 job reports that y'all didn't give us for the last 3 months. Because we know you lost over 1 million jobs. We know that. We know that. Please give us the job numbers.
Set in October. And for the 7th consecutive month, U.S. Border Patrol released 0 illegal aliens into the United States. Let me repeat, 7 months.
Go to the ADP. ADP is an independent company, independent agency that tracks the numbers. They publish their numbers too. Go see what those numbers are.
Months of 0 illegal aliens being released into.
It's called ADP. They track numbers right along with the White House. That's how I know we have lost jobs.
Our country. This is a historic achievement, and it's one that
It's called the ADP.
Law-abiding American citizen should be grateful for. At this point in 10 months under President Trump's unmatched leadership, we've seen less apprehensions overall than we saw in just 1 month under Joe Biden. Again, let me.
Sure, absolutely. They're scumbags. They've been doing it for 84 years. Sure, they're liberal scumbags. They track everything that the White House does. Sure, they're scumbags. Of course, Glenn Hand, of course.
Repeat, in 10 months under President Trump, we've seen less apprehensions at the southern border than we saw in 1 month under the previous president. Again, remarkable results. All in all, the economy is back on track and ready to boom over the next 3 years. Biden's inflation crisis is over. Prices are coming down. Wages are rising. The border is fully secure, and America's best days are to come. President Trump has kept his word and delivered for the American people over the past year, and he will not stop fighting, as you heard from him directly this week, until our country and every state in this country is better than ever before. So with that, I will take your questions today. I know there's a lot of news. We'll start with our new media seat. Mr. Bowling, it's great to see you here. He's of Real America's Voice. He's also the host of Edge, his interview and commentary podcast. Please, Eric, why don't you kick us off?
Caroline, thank you very much for this and inviting me to the new media seat. As you point out, affordability crisis, it strikes me energy prices have been coming down aggressively since President Trump's second term, approaching $55 a barrel for oil, gasoline, as you point out, under $3 a barrel nationally, first time in 5 years. By the way, that 50
See, that's why I don't trust these people. None of these goofies in the White House that are in this newsroom. Because that's all you have is people who dick ride. You dick ride. See, when you dick ride like this, I can't trust what you say. It's a different story when you push back and then you make them tell the truth. But the dick riding, oh, gas has come down under your leadership, my majesty. Hey, my Lord and Savior, I know that you lowered food prices. My Lord and Savior, I just love it. No, I can't trust you when you dick ride. And these people dick ride. So I don't trust shit that comes out of this White House.
$5 barrel oil is about half of the peak under the last 4 years of the last administration, half the price. Wholesale prices come.
Because all of them, because none of these people stand on their own. None of these people in this White House standing on their own. Biden did it. Biden did it. Biden did it. Biden did it. That's all you hear. Biden did it. Biden did it. Instead of standing on their own. They never stand on their own. It's always Biden did it. And then they come with, oh, we're amazing, but Biden was fucked up. We're amazing, but Biden was fucked up. Instead of just saying, because of COVID, Biden's whole term was fucked up. Instead of just saying that, everybody would believe that. Everybody would believe that one thing, right? Everybody would say, yeah, it was fucked up. COVID was fucked up, blah, blah, blah. We gotta say that was fucked up. But it's never that. It's always Biden did it. Biden did it. Biden did it. So I don't believe anything they say. They're always lying. Biden did it. It's past time. I know. It's past time. It's past time y'all give up Biden. Biden did it. Biden didn't screw up. That's y'all's problem. Y'all don't understand what Biden was doing. If anybody did a straight and narrow, it had to be Biden, trying to get us out of the ditch that we were in. Nobody recognizes that we were in that ditch. Everybody thinks Biden started out with a beautiful playing field. Biden had a wonderful fucking economy when he ran into the White House. Okay? Everybody seems to think Biden had a beautiful economy when he walked into the White House. No, he didn't. He had a shit starter economy, but after Trump. Trump's term was shitty. Biden's term was shitty. Nobody wants to acknowledge that. Everybody keeps saying, oh, Trump had an amazing fucking term. No, the fuck he didn't. His shit was shitty at the end of his term too. And then Biden inherited that shitty term, and Biden's shit was shitty. Okay? That's what people don't acknowledge. So when these people keep saying, Biden did it, no, I don't believe a thing they say. Because you fucking know COVID fucked up Trump's term and COVID fucked up Biden's term. But nobody wants to acknowledge that. Yeah, Biden was on the cusp. He was on the road to fixing the economy. He had a fucked up beginning, but he was fixing that month, right? But none of these retards get that, so it is what it is.
Down yet. Affordability crisis. A lot of the folks in this room, a lot of legacy media, some people in the front row seem to want to call this an affordability crisis right now, forgetting the fact that over the last 4 years prior, we hit 9% inflation. Wages, as you point out, have more stagnant at best, sometimes had dipped. That's a real affordability crisis there, but they weren't really calling it that then. You point out how President Trump is changing the affordability in America, but how will he ensure that the legacy media doesn't flip the script and change it so that they're using affordability as their word, their idea, versus what the American people who know much better?
Yeah, well, it's a great question, Eric, and it's a point of frustration for the president. And for myself, I will say that's part of the reason I just kicked off this briefing today, setting the record straight with facts about the economic mess that the president inherited from his predecessor, Joe Biden. And he's focused on digging our country and our economy out of that hole every day. things are getting better and they will continue to. And President Trump understands better than any politician in this city the pain that the American consumer has been feeling for years now because of the last administration's policies. You heard him in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania this past week campaigning and talking to these voters saying, I was elected to fix this problem.
So according to ADP, we've had a net loss of 17,000 jobs in the last 3 months. A net loss of 17,000 jobs. We lost 32,000 jobs, which is what the man said when he came out and he spoke about how many jobs we lost in September, and then Trump fired him. October, we had a loss of or a gain of 47,000. And then in November, we had another loss. We had a loss in September of negative 32. We had a gain of 47 in October. Then we had another net loss of 32. Then the total loss is 17,000 jobs since September.
And I am fixing it. Don't forget who created it, and that's the Democrats. And I think when you hear the president talk about affordability,
they don't want to admit that the tariffs fucked up everything. Tariffs fucked up everything. They don't want to admit that Trump's term, the end of his term was fucked up. Trump's end of his term was fucked up. Biden's beginning of Biden's term was fucked up. Biden was pulling us out of the fucking ditch. It just is what it is. But we can't, it is what it is.
saying the Democrats are the greatest con artists in history because they are now trying to claim ownership of an issue that they created. And every data point and every economic metric does in fact show that the economy is improving. And so I do wish more people would report on those facts. I do wish that more people would.
Only if you didn't listen to what I said, Crippen. You didn't listen to what I said, so you don't understand. I get it. You don't understand. You don't understand what I said. That's okay. You don't understand what I've said.
Remind the American public how we got here and why. It does not mean this president is discarding the feelings of the American people.
Yeah, yes, he is. Yes, he is. Because it is what it is.
Well, he gets it better than anyone, which is why his entire administration has been focused on the issue of the economy and energy prices since day one.
If I may.
I understand. I understand that y'all got to say Biden did everything. I understand that. It's a reflex zombie action. It's reflex zombie shit. But President Trump's end of his term was what drove us into the ditch. The end of his term drove us into the ditch. Trump's term drove us into the ditch. The end of his term drove us into the ditch. Biden inherited that ditch, and he started to get us out of the ditch. We were almost to the street. We were almost out of the ditch, and then this president took us right back into the ditch. Okay? It is what it is. Any day, you put your economists up to my economists any day of the week, and they'll explain what the hell happened. That's why you're a goofy zombie, Bart. Because you should, and the fucked up part is, you should be old enough to understand that COVID destroyed the end of Trump's presidency, and it destroyed the beginning of Biden's presidency. You're old enough to even understand that, and you still talking like a goofy. That's crazy.
Sure.
Follow up. It's reported that around 10,000 commercial driver's license operators have been pulled by your transportation secretary department.
That's goofy. Phoenix, goofy. June 2002, the inflation was 9.9. November 2024, the inflation was 3.0. How do we get from 9.9 to 3.0, goofy, if he wasn't doing something right? Goofy.
Will the president apply that same metric? For the reason was they don't.
No, he didn't inherit no good economy. It wasn't a good economy, lead lawyer. It wasn't a good economy. The whole country was shut down, goofy. How was that a good economy?
Operators weren't speaking or reading English to a level that was safely, people thought they would safely be able to operate trucks on our roadways. It's estimated in California around 40% of Uber drivers, Uber and Lyft drivers, don't speak English proficiently. And
Sure I am, Bart. Sure I am. As I said, you should be old enough to know that COVID destroyed the end of Trump's presidency, and Biden had the same freaking presidency, and they both had their terms destroyed from COVID. You should be old enough to know, and you on here talking goofy shit. I just don't understand. I don't understand.
the number's 45% in Minnesota. Will this same rule or metric apply to the gig economy like Uber and Lyft?
So I don't have any announcements on further regulations, if you will, from the Department of Transportation with
Old enough
However,
to
I will just
understand.
reiterate.
Old enough to understand what the hell happened to the economy, but he's still on here. Excuse me, but you still on here talking that foo-foo la-la. I just don't understand. You old enough to understand what happened, but you on here talking foo-foo la-la.
Are experiencing an 18% increase in their insurance premiums. Now, if you look at employer-provided coverage, which covers many, many more Americans, those increases in costs are going up roughly in the 5 to 6% range. So you might wonder why the huge disparity between Obamacare and the rest of healthcare. Of course, our healthcare system is pretty fragmented. We have people who have employer-provided coverage.
Every time Trump get in office, Jason Bourne, he puts money on the deficit. Stop it. Bart, you are old enough to understand what happened to the economy. You got to be an imbecile, or you got to be slow in order for you not to get what happened to the economy. Don't come in here spreading lies and gossip. You know Trump's presidency was trashed at the end of his presidency, and you know the beginning of Biden's was even more trash. Stop spreading lies. That's crazy. Goofy, old enough to understand, but just an imbecile.
Seniors who have
Just
Medicare.
an imbecile. You're an imbecile.
Low-income individuals who qualify for Medicaid, veterans who qualify for the VA system or TRICARE. But for the group of people who believed what President Obama said when he...
That's what we keep saying to Donald Trump, but y'all don't believe us. We keep saying it to your Messiah, but none of you goofies seem to believe that.
Sold Obamacare about 15 years ago now. They've been deceived. I still remember like it was yesterday, the president said, if you like your policy, you can keep your policy. Wait a
minute, I thought we were debating the health care that the Republicans were introducing. I thought we were debating that. The health care that the Republicans were introducing. What happened? They were supposed to be introducing their new health care policy today. What happened?
That was a lot.
No, I don't hate anybody. I just think your president is dangerous. He's a fascist. He's an asshole, and he doesn't care about the American people. That's it. I don't hate nobody. I just know that I know he's a con artist. That's all. We know he's a con artist. That's it.
Why? If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Well, that was not true either. And then he said the average premiums would go down about $2,500 for people on these Affordable Care Act exchanges. Well, that wasn't true either. Years ago, I was Attorney General of the state of Texas. We had a consumer protection division, and where we would sue people who would consciously defraud consumers. And if this isn't one of the biggest consumer frauds perpetrated in our lifetime, maybe in history, I don't know what is.
We understand that Obamacare needs help. We understand that Obamacare needs help. How are you going to make Obamacare better? What are you going to do for the American people, Republicans that are in charge? Republicans are in charge, right? They're the one who are in charge of the House and the Senate. So we want to know how you guys are going to help us get ACA to every person or healthcare to every person and make it better. This is what we want to know. All this bickering back and forth about who, what, when, where. This is the same way. This is the same way people do in the chat, arguing about shit we don't need to be arguing about. Everybody wants to have some kind of health care. What are you all doing to get us the health care? That's all we care about. We don't care about this shit right here. You don't know nothing about subsidies. Everybody has medical subsidies, goofy. Goofy. I swear.
No Republican voted for Obamacare.
Everybody gets health
We
care.
didn't think that was the best
Everybody.
solution to providing access to health care. Only Democrats voted for it. And now they've created this incredible mess, this unworkable.
Who's the people that are on the healthcare? Who's the people on the Medicaid, Medicare? Those are the what is it? The armed forces, the people that have been in the military and the army. They get that subsidized health care from the government. This goofy kryptonite keep telling y'all need to go out and get your own health care. Crimpin 412 keep telling you veterans, you old people, you handicapped. He said you need to get your ass out there and find you some medical insurance. He talking to y'all veterans, y'all old people. He telling y'all to get the fuck up off that Medicare. He telling y'all government workers and y'all military people and you old people, get your ass up out there and get some more health care some other way. He talking to y'all.
Unsustainable, unaffordable healthcare system within the rest of our healthcare system. And they look to us, Republicans, the people who did not create this problem, as, okay, now how are you going to fix it? They don't have any better ideas. As a matter of fact, what they want is more of the same.
I need you all to do your homework. I need you all to look up. This is what, I don't know how you're going to type it into your whatever little search engine y'all got or whatever little encyclopedia you got. Why don't y'all look up how each party is the steward of this economy when they have all three houses or they're in charge of this economy. Why don't y'all look up what kind of stats people have, what kind of stats the Republicans have, what kind of stats the Democrats have when they're running the country. When the Republicans are running the country, do we have abundance of jobs being made? Do we have an abundance of people being out of poverty? Do we have an abundance of people not being homeless? Why don't we do that kind of homework? Why don't you get the fuck out of my chat? See, this is the dumb shit I don't like. This is somebody who's low-level IQ who would come on here and say this. Why don't you get the fuck off YouTube? Why don't you get out of my chat? I don't understand what you're doing here. What are you doing here? And you just said something that's just retarded all the way. Just retarded all the way. I can't make people grow up. That's the problem. I can't make you grow up. Because only a degenerate, you're right, only a degenerate will come in here and say that. You'll do what you please. I'm happy for you. I'm all the way happy for you. Now I'm done talking to you. Now I'm done. I'm definitely done talking to you. Simply because I just don't want to. Because I don't like immature people. I don't like immature human beings. That's the problem. I just don't like it. I'm just too old to deal with you. I'm just too old to deal with zombies like you. I can't. Just dumb zombies. Not just zombies, dumb zombies.
They want zero reforms. They want more waste, fraud, and abuse. They want more money to go to insurance companies. They want 100%.
I don't know why I catch all these mentally ill people. How you come into somebody's chat talking 2-point crazy in somebody's chat? I don't understand why you would even do that. We have great disagreements in here. People come in here and say wild shit. We have a conversation. We argue back and forth. There's no need for you to come in here and call people names. There's no need to call people names. Okay? That's just wild. You come in and say that dumb shit. Why don't you get off YouTube? What the fuck you mean get off YouTube? Why you in my chat? I don't understand. That's immature speak. That's immature talking. I can't do with you. We can debate just fine. You guys just never want to deal with facts. Because if I asked you, if somebody put up what is it? If somebody said Trump sells pardons, the first thing you gonna say is Biden did it, Biden did it, Biden did it. Y'all can't never debate. You got to run off somewhere else. You can't never stick to the story. You can't never stick to the script. It's always something crazy. Biden did it. You said Trump sells pardons. Trump sells pardons. Biden did it. Biden did it. That's the first thing y'all gonna say. So no, it's not a matter of us Democrats being able to debate. We got some of the best debaters on our side. It's you all that don't know how to stick to facts.
Of the tax dollars that pay for the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare exchanges, they want it to continue going to insurance companies. President Trump has said, let's get the money to the...
Let's see if you can tell the truth right here, Divine 7777. Do the Republicans really want people to have medical insurance? Hey, Divine 777. Do the Republicans really want Americans to have medical insurance, or do they want to kick Americans off so they can pay for their own health insurance, which most Americans can't afford? Which one is the truth? Are you going to be honest or are you going to lie? Do they want them to have insurance or not? There you go. Can't never be honest about nothing. Knowing full well, this is a freaking show. This is a freaking show right here. So why is it that your party wants to throw all these people off Medicaid? Wait a minute. Why is it that your party threw all those people off Medicaid and Medicare when they knew those people needed that Medicare and Medicare? When they knew those people needed that medical insurance, why did they throw them off?
Consumer so they can choose what they want. I think that's a better idea. Plus, insurance companies skim about 20% off of those taxpayer-provided subsidies for their administrative costs.
Absolutely, Jason Bourne.
Profits.
Absolutely.
And you know what?
Absolutely, Jason Bourne. Absolutely.
Are among the most profitable companies in America, certainly since Obamacare started. And then finally, they want to break what has been roughly a, 50-year consensus on whether tax dollars should be used to pay for abortions. We know abortions and that issue.
Yeah, let's pull that out. Let's pull out the abortion issue. Yeah, let's get them all fired up about abortion. We ain't talking about abortion. We're talking about medical insurance. Yeah, let's pull that cultural shit out like you Republicans always do. Let's pull the heartstrings of the goofy poor people. Goofy poor people. Yeah, they want to have, the Democrats want y'all to have abortions. Yeah, pull that out. Y'all wild. Can't never stick to the subject. You Republicans never stand on nothing. You never stand on anything.
Divides much of America. But one area that we have agreed on, this consensus back named after Henry Hyde,
can't do it.
Famous legislator, House member from Illinois, is something called the Hyde Amendment that says no tax dollars can go for abortions. And Democrats want to throw that out the window. Well, rather than just point the finger at our Democratic colleagues, we actually have come up with a better idea. And I'm grateful to our colleague, Senator Crapo, chairman of the Finance Committee, and Senator Cassidy, a medical doctor who's head of the Health Education.
No, don't dress it up. Don't try to dress it up. What it is the Republicans' medical plan is they give $90 to everybody who needs medical. Let's give them $90, and then they go out and buy their own medical insurance. Let's give them $90, and then they can go buy their own medical insurance. $90, and then they can go buy their own medical insurance.
Labor and Pensions Committee for coming up with an alternative proposal, which is predicted to bring premium prices down.
Y'all don't crash out. Don't crash out. Feel the heat. Don't crash out in the chat. You talking about stuff we ain't even talking about. That's what I said. Most of you Republicans can't stick to the subject. We're talking about the medical. We're talking about the medical. We ain't talking about kids in the trash, men in the bathroom. We ain't talking about none of that. We talking about X, Y, and Z. Okay? We talking about X, Y, and Z. We ain't talking about nothing else. Stick to the subject. I know it's hard for y'all.
About 11%. Now that's real money that people can use to spend on other things. Again, 18% increase.
Absolutely, I'm dick riding insurance companies. Absolutely.
Year.
You sound goofy as hell, Jason Bourne. You read my mind better than I do.
For people on these affordable
better than I do, jackass. Better than I do.
Policies. And as I said, the proposal by Senator Crapo and Senator Cassidy aligns with what President Trump has said, is let's get the money to the people.
Yeah, let's get the people $80, $90. Yeah, $80, $90 to get their own insurance. Yeah, let's do it. $80, $90 should be amazingly good. Yeah.
Rather have the money.
Let's find out what insurance company gonna take $100 for insurance. Y'all do that research for me right now. I'm gonna look up what insurance company is gonna take $100 from a healthy human being, $100 for the insurance for the whole month. I need to know. We all need to know that. Yeah, $100. That's what the Republicans want to give you in this bill. Yeah.
Money to buy the kind of coverage that you want and need. We are not all the same. We have people of different ages, different health care needs. Some young and healthy people may figure they don't need.
No, he don't want to jerk it off. He want to eat. They be eating the cats and dogs. Remember? Oh, shit. That's some Somali people eating them cats and dogs, ain't it? No. Or is it the Afghan people who was eating the cats and dogs? Only the goofies believe that shit, though.
As comprehensive a coverage as older folks do.
What, Presbyterian insurance? Does that mean you got to keep your knees closed or something?
But our Democratic colleagues believe that we're all cut out of the same cloth and we are all the same when it comes to access need for health care, and that's just not true.
No, we don't.
This legislation that's been proposed, not by the Democrats who want more of the same broken system, the alternative that Senator Crapo and Senator Cassidy have proposed, we voted on it, and our Democratic colleagues did not support it at all. We sure didn't vote for this mess, what we call Dems' dirty Obamacare bill. This is a disaster, and it was sold under false pretenses.
Yeah, but y'all had 10 years to pull that together. Why didn't y'all pull together a better plan? Here's the thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Who was I talking to? Where's that goofy person I was talking to? What was her name? What was the goofy's name? Oh, yeah. What was the name? Yeah, Divine 777. Where's the plan that the Republicans were putting together for the last 9 years. Where's that plan at? They couldn't come up with a better plan than this Obamacare. They couldn't come up with no plan. I mean, 9 years from President Trump. Every time you turn around, President Trump was talking about he had a plan. He had medical insurance. Where's y'all plan that helps people? This is what we want to know. We want to jump on the Republican plan. We want to find out how we get covered with the Republican plan. This is what we want to know.
And we need to do better for our constituents who need access to affordable health care.
No, we ain't talking about the Epstein files. Stick on subject. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but we're asking about where the Republicans plan at that they said they were going to have the last 9 years. We want to get on that plan. Seeing as how Obama's plan is shitty, we want them to introduce a better plan. Where's their plan? Somebody let me know. What's the name of the 777 lady? Where is their plan so we can look it up? Yeah, as a matter of fact, somebody get the website where we can go look up the Republican plan. Somebody come up with that website. Can you put it in the chat, please, where that website is that the Republicans got? Somebody give it to us.
Well, our Democratic colleagues are calling for a clean extension of the enhanced Obamacare subsidies because they don't want any changes in what I've described here. And that's the heart of the problem. We know there's a whole host of...
No, that's all they had to do was introduce a good health care plan. I'm pretty sure they would have got some Democrats on it. Where's the health care plan? They had 10 years to pull a plan together. We more than happy to get on the Republican health care plan. Where's the health care plan at so we can read it? So then we can jump on their plan and see how good theirs is. Because everybody keeps saying the Republicans can come up with a better health plan. If they can come up with a better health plan, I'm more than willing to go along with their health care plan. Does anybody have a link to the health care plan that the Republicans are introducing into the House right now? This is what I want to know. Is there a link so we can go and look at it, so we can see? Because if it's a good health care plan, hey, I would even promote that good health care plan because every human being needs health insurance. So does anybody have a link to where this health care plan is? Anybody? Any Republican?
Problems.
You all know everything. Does anybody have the health care plan? I just want to know where theirs are. Well, I just want to know where he's talking about he has a better health care plan. This guy right here keeps talking about they got a better health care plan. Can anybody link it in the chat? I would like to know.
With this Obamacare subsidies, and any extension that fails to address them is more apt to be described as what I'd call a dirty bill. It doesn't solve the problem. So what are the issues? Well, first of all, we know that these subsidies are rife with fraud. In other words, your tax dollar is being misappropriated.
So you guys going to introduce you all's plan. The Republican plan is going to take all the fraud and waste out. And you're going to, so what are you going to introduce? Introduce what you're going to do to replace the Obamacare, sir. Please replace Obamacare. Please tell us what's going on.
To fraudsters. We've been saying that all along, and now we have a new report from the Government Accountability Office, which demonstrates beyond a shadow of a doubt what we've always suspected to be true. They documented it. The report paints a picture that makes the notion of a so-called clean extension with no changes outright laughable. That's not a clean extension. The investigators at GAO created fake identities and social security numbers for 24 individuals who did not exist.
There's no website that lays out the definitive plan. There's no website. I'm looking everywhere. I'm looking at Senate Republican medical plan. I'm looking at the changes to the medical plan. I'm looking at the Washington, the Donald Trump medical plan. I'm looking for it. Does anybody have the link that links us to the healthcare plan they're talking about?
And they did this in order to find out what would happen when they took advantage of these Obamacare subsidies. They took these imaginary 24 and tried to enroll them in Affordable Care Act plans through Obamacare exchanges in 2024 and 2025. Shockingly, they were able to successfully enroll almost all of these imaginary individuals in subsidized coverage because the insurance companies were more than happy to take those tax dollars and in exchange for providing this phantom coverage. For 2024, the auditors were able to secure health coverage for all 4 of the applicants submitted worth approximately $2,350 a month. In 2025, 19 of the 20 applicants were able to qualify for subsidized coverage worth more than $10,000 per month. And these people didn't exist. Of the 24 fake identities, only 1 of them was not allowed to be enrolled. All the incentives for the insurance companies are, let's issue the policy. We don't care if this is a real person or not. What we want is the premium dollar, and we want the taxpayer to pay for it. The notion that someone can enroll in a taxpayer subsidized health insurance policy with a non-existent identity should be enough to stop us dead in our tracks.
But we not worried about that. Okay, we admit Obamacare is trash. Obamacare is trash. We're going to give you that. Obamacare is trash. Now, please present your plan so that we can look your plan over to make sure your plan is not trash. Can somebody please present the Republican plan to see if their plan is not trash either? We need to know. Obamacare is trash. Throw Obamacare out. We want to see you guys bill. Let's see what you guys got to offer.
And say, we need to change it. We need to fix this. But the fraud does not stop there. GAO also found more than 29,000 instances in 2023 and nearly 68,000 instances in 2024 of a single Social Security number being used to enroll in more than one plan in a given year. So you had people with the same Social Security number able to enroll in multiple plans in a given year, meaning these Social Security numbers were being traded and assigned to more than one person. Again, all the incentives are for the insurance companies to issue as many policies as they can because that's how they make more money. During its probe, GAO discovered that the federal marketplace does not prohibit multiple enrollments per Social Security number. So under the status quo, which Democrats want to continue, one person could enroll in multiple policies. Again, in some instances, they may not even know that they're enrolled in multiple policies.
This is the problem. Only if you're goofy would you believe everything he's saying. He's not offering anything. We want an offer of a plan. We don't want to hear about Obamacare. I'm giving you that. We are giving you that Obamacare is trash. Now present your plan, sir. Without mentioning Biden's name, of course, but present your plan. Okay? We've been waiting for your plan for 15 years. What is your plan? We want to give your plan to try. Give us your plan, sir. Give us the Republican plan.
Policies. The excuse given for this practice is it protects the Social Security holders' number from fraud or identity theft. But I'm sure we can find a better safeguard against Social Security fraud than simply letting multiple people enroll in the health care in healthcare with the same Social Security number without raising any questions or any red flags. So imagine if you were a victim of identity theft. Wouldn't you want to be notified if someone else was using your identity, your Social Security number, in order to get health insurance? Democrats have been telling us from time and time again that illegal immigrants cannot access taxpayer-subsidized health care.
And this is what I'm talking about. They don't have a plan. They don't have a plan. So if you don't have a plan, why didn't you all take the time to fix the Obamacare? Fix the Obamacare. If you don't have a plan, fix the Obamacare and just keep it moving. But they don't want to fix the care. The whole point is, I'm trying to gaslight you guys. The truth is, the Republicans never had a plan because they never wanted to give people the plan. They never wanted to give people medical insurance. They want all of us off the insurance. They want all of us off Medicaid, Medicare, poor, veteran. They want you all off of the insurance. They have no intention of trying to fund veterans, old people, handicapped. They have no intention of funding you. They want to get you all, they want to throw all of y'all off of insurance. Okay? But we don't care. We don't care what Obamacare was, Justice Pat. The Republicans need to replace it with something. You just can't kick people off medical insurance. Not Medicaid and Medicaid and Medicare. That's wild.
But we know from the GAO report that there are no mechanisms to prevent an illegal alien from enrolling in coverage if they have access to somebody else's Social Security number. And as if this isn't enough, the list of offenses go on and on and on. In 2024,
I don't know.
CMS reported approximately 275,000 reports from consumers that they were either enrolled or had made changes in their insurance without their consent. Now this is
Now you got to enlighten me, mind reader. You have to enlighten me. Why exactly is it that we keep going over this Obamacare when it's trash? Why is it that they haven't presented their alternative to Obamacare exactly? How is it that I'm ignorant and I don't see no website? No, as a matter of fact, mind reader, can you please find it? Can you please post the link where there is a Republican plan? Can you please put the link in the chat? Seeing as how I'm ignorant of where it's at, I'm so ignorant I don't even know where it's at. Please put the link in the chat. Because you can't put the link in the chat. Because the Republicans have no plan. They just want to kick you off. They never had no plan. They don't want old people, veterans, young, poor. They don't want any of y'all on medical insurance. They just want you to die in the street. That's all. That's all. Just admit that. If you admit that, me and you be fine.
a problem. If you're taking a medication, or even if you have a doctor, particular doctor you like, having your plan changed without your knowledge or consent could result in the loss of coverage altogether or force you to change doctors unnecessarily. But this underscores one of the most significant problems that my Republican colleagues and I have raised with these so-called Obamacare enhanced subsidies. They directly line the pockets of insurance companies without lowering costs for consumers and taxpayers, and they do so in a way that's rife with fraud. When insurance brokers are enrolling patients or making changes to their coverage without their consent, the insurance company receives those tax dollars for the government, for the enrollee. But since the patient doesn't or may not have knowledge that they've even been enrolled, or perhaps that they're already enrolled in some other policy elsewhere, the insurance company will have to pay out zero in claims. That's what insurance companies like. They like to collect the premium and they like to pay as few claims as possible. So it's a perfect arrangement for them. But it's not for the taxpayer. These Obamacare enhanced subsidies are rife with fraud and should not be extended without meaningful reforms. In addition to the problems raised by the GAO report, the subsidies don't contain HIDE protections. I mentioned that a moment ago. People who have conscientious objection to abortion policies shouldn't have to be forced using their tax dollars to subsidize it for people who want to fund abortions and transgender procedures. Again, this used to be the 50-year-long consensus known as the Hyde Amendment. Many hardworking taxpayers who elected us have religious or moral objections to these operations, myself included. And the government should not be forcing Americans to participate or subsidize practices that violate their deeply held beliefs by financing them with their tax dollars.
Y'all said that's American capitalism. Y'all said that's the way the market works. So now we mad at the business owners. We mad at the medical insurance people for charging what they charging. I don't understand what's going on. You don't want to give them a medical insurance because you're paying a greedy people who sell insurance, but you don't want this wild.
The Democrats' plan does nothing to address rampant fraud, the use of tax dollars to line the pockets of insurance companies, and the lack of HIDE protections for these subsidies. The lack of these changes does not mean this extension proposed by Democrats is clean. Far from it. We understand, I understand, that Texans need access to affordable health care, but this is not it. We will look forward to working together to find a real workable solution to healthcare affordability. What I worry about is that our Democratic colleagues really don't want to solve this problem. They want to have a political issue they can ride all the way to the midterm elections. And that's not just a cynical view of mine.
We could all have universal health care. We could all have health care without paying all these premiums, without paying $200 a month, $300 a month. We could all have health care. If everybody made a concentrated effort to say, we want universal health care for all of our people. We want all of our people to have single payer health. Single payer would be great. Single payer would be amazing. Okay, single payer would be amazing. That's just like Medicaid and Medicare. If everybody got Medicaid and Medicare, the standard and everything else would go sky high because it would be single payer. But most goofy goofies don't know that.
I think that's a very likely reality. We can do better. We need to do better. Our constituents expect us to do better by working together to come up with affordable solutions for them without taking advantage of the taxpayers and lining the pockets of wealthy insurance companies.
No. We not gonna do that. We not gonna pretend. Y'all see the hypocrisy, right? Y'all see the hypocrisy, right? These are the goofy motherfuckers who just gave the wealthiest people in our country a tax break. They just put money in rich people's pocket. And now they talking about, oh, y'all trying to pay the insurance company. Y'all trying to put money in the insurance company pocket. Why should we worry about that? Why the fuck you care about whether we put money in the insurance payers' tax pocket? Insurance premium people tax pocket. Y'all didn't care about that when y'all cut that big, beautiful bill. Y'all didn't care about none of that. Single payer is the only way to fix the problem. That's right, Gene. Single payer insurance would be the best thing for everybody. If we had single payer, then nobody would have to have high premiums, and everybody would be covered. It's called single payer. You all need to be looking that up, because that's what we're going to advocate for. Single payer.
Mr. President, I yield the floor, and I'd note the absence of a quorum.
Clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Alsobrooks.
All right, hold on. What y'all doing? Okay. Y'all just took a break. Hold on. Here we go. Let's go back here. Let's talk to these people. Uno momento. Let's go here.
Public sector unions made no sense. FDR wrote that, quote, the process of collective bargaining, as usually understood, cannot be translated into the public service, end quote. Why? Because in the private sector, unions represent workers and sit across the bargaining table from representatives of business owners.
Right.
However, federal unions are not negotiating with a profit-seeking corporation. They are negotiating with the public's elected representatives. As FDR put it, in the case of the public sector, the employer is the whole people. Federal unions, in other words, seek concessions not from private owners, but from the taxpayers themselves. And since federal salaries and benefits are determined by laws, which also establish basic civil service protections for employees, what exactly do federal unions bargain over? They bargain over conditions of employment, like telework. Unions also seek contract provisions that limit management's ability to hold employees accountable through disciplinary procedures or performance management processes. I urge my colleagues to buck federal union bosses, put Americans first, and oppose the so-called Protect America's Workforce Act. I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman from Kentucky reserves. Gentleman from California is recognized.
That's my whole thing. I said we need to advocate for single payer. Single payer means everybody gets insurance. Everybody gets insurance. I guess I don't know how to single payer exactly. Everybody look up single payer healthcare. Single payer healthcare. Look it up.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent that all members may have 5 legislative days to revise and extend their remarks and insert other material into the record.
Without objection.
I yield myself such time as I may consume. I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in strong support of the Protecting America's Workforce Act, which will restore collective bargaining rights to more than 1 million federal workers. I want to thank Congressman Golden for all of his work to bring this bipartisan bill to the floor, and so many members across our caucus who are supportive. Now, we know this bill is a historic win which overcame opposition from Speaker Johnson and certainly anti-worker allies across the government. In March, President Trump signed an executive order terminating collective bargaining rights for federal police officers, firefighters, nurses, food inspectors, and so many more. Now, the nurses who care for our veterans, the flight and safety inspectors at the FAA, nuclear power plant safety workers, and countless others lost their right to have representation in the workplace. This is unfair and it's wrong. Workers deserve the right to make their voices heard with a union. Now, Mr. Speaker, I was the mayor of my city, Long Beach, California, before I came to Congress, and I was so proud to partner with our city unions, always making sure that the city and services ran effectively. Our federal unions are the same. They make sure that our civil service is independent and nonpartisan, serving the citizens and not whichever party is currently in power. They make sure we attract and retain highly talented workers, and they make sure that our agencies follow the law. President Trump is targeting federal unions to further his power grab and to continue to push an agenda which leaves working families behind and instead supports billionaires. Unions make our class stronger, they make our government stronger, and they make our economy stronger. We should be working every day to strengthen the right to organize, not to undermine it. This bill is a historic victory. I commend Congressman Golden and everyone who's worked on it. I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 5 minutes to the gentleman from Texas. Oh, wait. Mr. Cloud.
Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Speaker, I rise today in strong opposition to H.R. 2550. The proposed legislation is designed to nullify President Trump's lawful executive order to exclude agencies within the national security missions from collective bargaining agreements. Article 2 of the Constitution is crystal clear. The executive power is invested in the President of the United States. Let me repeat, all authority in the executive branch flows from the people to the duly elected executive. Anyone operating outside of the pleasure of the President in the executive branch is simply part of an unconstitutional fourth branch of government. The President holds the sole authority. Yet for decades, federal collective bargaining agreements have been allowed, and some even designed to restrict the President's ability to lead the government we elected him to run. That's why President Trump, acting fully within the authority granted by the Civil Service Reform Act of 1978, amended Jimmy Carter's 1979 executive order to exempt additional agencies from burdensome collective bargaining agreements. Agencies such as the Department of Defense, State, Justice, Homeland Security, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, as well as many others. The less disdain for the Constitution cannot be more clear. We saw this during Trump administration 1 with the resistance movement. During the Biden administration, we saw the auto pen controversy, where they even went around the executive. The Biden administration spent the final months, even after being voted out of office, frantically signing union contracts which were explicitly designed to sabotage the incoming administration and prevent the president elected by the people from carrying out the mandate he was given. These same government unions are not neutral public servants. In the 2023 to 2024 election cycle, the 4 largest federal employee unions spent nearly $1 billion on politics. 98.8% of their federal contributions went to the Democratic Party. Unions like the American Federation of Government Employees, the National Treasury Employees Union, AFSCME, SEIU, and others affected by this executive order have made no secret of their intent to resist this agenda the American people voted for. As Congress, we need to ensure that the Constitution is upheld. We need more legislation like the Preserving Presidential Management Authority Act, which simply reaffirms Article 2 and ensures that no future administration can permanently handcuff its successor. I urge my colleagues to defend Article 2, reject this H.R. 2550, and stand with the American people who sent us here to drain the swamp, not to protect it. Thank you for your time, and I yield back.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from California is recognized.
Thank you. I'd like to yield 1.5 minutes to Representative Fitzpatrick.
Gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise today in support of H.R. 2550, bipartisan legislation to restore collective bargaining rights for hundreds of thousands of unionized federal employees. This legislation reaffirms a core principle. A government that serves the people must also respect the rights of those who serve within it. Federal employees work tirelessly every day, often behind the scenes. They process Social Security benefits, safeguard our food, safeguard our water, care for our veterans, and respond whenever a disaster strikes. Their work is essential, and its impact reaches every community across this nation. Mr. Speaker, by restoring their collective bargaining rights, we strengthen a system that keeps government effective, stable, and responsive, all without compromising security or mission readiness. Reinstating these rights is not a concession, it is a commitment to treat federal workers with dignity, to reinforce a resilient public service, and to honor the commitment of the men and women who show up for the American people every single day. I urge my colleagues to support this bill. I want to thank my friend and colleague from Maine, Jared Golden, for his partnership and, more importantly, for his courage in advancing this initiative. And I yield back the balance of my time.
Kentucky is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 4 minutes to the gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Biggs.
Gentleman is recognized.
Thank you. And I thank the chairman. This bill would nullify President Trump's executive order 14251, which rightly excluded 40 national security agencies from collective bargaining. Agencies like FEMA, Coast Guard, CDC, the VA cannot afford to be paralyzed by union red tape when lives are on the line. I want to emphasize, this is going to nullify an executive order. It's going to attack his agenda, the America First agenda that he was overwhelmingly elected to enact. These unions are not neutral actors. The number of $1 billion was mentioned by, billionaires was mentioned by my colleague from California. I'm glad he mentioned the term billion, because that's what the partisan machine government unions spent in the last election, just under $1 billion, 980 million of it going to Democrats, which explains in no small measure the rationale for the movement of this bill to negate President Trump's executive order. In its final days, the Biden administration rushed to lock in long-term union contracts designed to tie President Trump's hands for his second term. H.R. 2550 preserves those deals signed after President Trump was reelected, but before Inauguration Day. That undermines the will of the voters and the authority of the commander-in-chief. It is legislative sabotage, and we shouldn't give in to that. Civil Service Reform Act of 1978 explicitly gives the president authority to exclude agencies from collective bargaining when national security is at stake. This would undo that. Presidents from Carter to Reagan to Trump have exercised this authority. Courts have already sided with President Trump, affirming that in matters of national security, the president enjoys, quote, unique responsibility, close quote. Arizona knows too well the cost of bureaucratic failure. The Phoenix VA scandal showed what happens when accountability is lost. Veterans died waiting for care.
Let me see, what's the universe?
We must not allow unions to dictate policy if it is going to impact national security, if it's going to affect our borders, if it's going to affect our energy, if it's going to affect protecting Americans during pandemics. In a state where public safety and national defense are daily realities, my state, this bill would put union bosses ahead of the American people and in front of Arizonans. In 2020,
I'm still looking at universal, I'm still looking at single payer health care. That's what I'm looking at. Somebody explain single payer. What does that mean?
24 alone, the political arm of the Democrat Party, the four largest public sector unions, spent $900 million plus on progressive politics. 86% of that came from their members' dues. They're using taxpayer-backed salaries to fund partisan activism, not to serve the American people. H.R. 2550 strips the president of his constitutional authority, undermines national security, and rewards partisan obstruction. President Trump is trying to fulfill his duty to protect the American people. Congress should not stand in his way. I urge my colleagues to stand with the president, put America's security ahead of union politics, and vote no, and I'll yield.
Gentleman from Arizona yields. Gentleman from Kentucky reserves. Gentleman from California is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to yield a minute and a half to Representative Norcross.
Gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in support of H.R. 2550, a bill that would restore a vote, the collective bargaining rights for all federal employees. Earlier this year, President Trump launched one of the largest attacks on labor in the history of the United States. The working people who voted to join a union and have a voice. President Trump suggests that it is a problem to national security. Well, quite frankly, it has not been. They cite that there would be strikes. There hasn't been, and it is illegal to strike. In fact, we're looking for workers to help build our military at the very...
Well, what I found out is single payer single payer would be cheaper than the system that we got right now. Single payer would be cheaper. The U.S. pays more health care than any other country on earth. Yes, single payer would almost certainly be cheaper overall than the system we have now. And it basically means, who has these people? It's not free health care, but health care paid collectively through taxes instead of individually through premiums. That would mean that all the insurance companies would not get the money. It would go towards all the health care. Oh, okay. So it would be cheaper than what we're doing now. Single payer. So the government would pay for the health care. Yeah, it would be cheaper. So why ain't we fighting to get single payer? Why ain't people fighting to get cheaper single payer then? You wouldn't have to pay insurance rates. You wouldn't have to pay, make it. What? Whoa, let me read more. I'm reading.
Time that the president is trying to beat down those workers. So this is where the real problem is. That executive order stripped the federal.
You would have 600 billion to 1 trillion per year cost savings just by cutting out all the administrative paperwork that would go to Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield. All of that would go away. You would save 600 to $1 trillion. Of course, you stop paying premiums and deductibles and copays. Instead, taxes would cover it. Everybody would have a specific tax. Yes, we would have a tax, and that would be it. And you can pay for your own insurance if you wanted something special. You would have to pay for your own insurance. But regular ordinary care, you wouldn't have to pay anything. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Workers of their collective bargaining rights. The suggestion is that they cancel the contract.
Yeah, that's if you wanted something special. If you wanted something special, then yes, insurance, you would have to pay they insurance. But if you didn't want anything special and you was a regular ordinary individual, you wouldn't have to pay anything. Nobody would have to pay. Nobody would have to pay. Well, why we ain't fighting for single payer health care then?
We always deal in contracts. A collective bargaining agreement is a contract between the people and the public entity. We do it across the board each and every day. Less than 24 hours ago, in this very room, we had a chance to immediately restore the collective bargaining rights just for the Department of Defense. They all voted no. And today they want to vote yes. A day late and a dollar short is what I'm talking about. You could have voted for a fraction of the people yesterday and it would become law. Today, they vote for it. You can't have it both ways.
No, it says, what did it say?
Be clear.
It said the bottom line is the U.S. healthcare spending would go down. Most individuals and families would save money. The government would spend more money, but you would spend less, but we would spend less. Under single payer, we would pay a lower price in a simplified way. Under the right now, how we pay it is in a messy, complicated way because we pay premiums, bills, co-pays, taxes, and surcharges. Under single payer, we would only have to pay through taxes only. We wouldn't have to pay that deductible when we went to the doctor. We wouldn't have to pay a lot of this shit. Okay.
Want to work together. Both sides of the aisle.
Gentleman's
This
time
is
has
incredibly important. And we need to remember.
And doctors could still be private, get paid privately, all of that. It just would be now we real messy and complicated with it. Right now, if it was under single payer, it wouldn't be so messy or complicated. And it also would be faster because it would just be one place that would be paying for it, would be billing for it. It's wild. Why we ain't fighting for single payer, y'all? What's going on?
The collective bargaining
Gentleman's time
agreements
has expired.
are about a vote by the people. Don't steal the vote. I yield back.
Yeah, but Bernie is the only goddamn person. If I had to pick a senator Out of all these greedy motherfuckers that work in this damn building, in the Congress, Bernie would probably be the only person that I would trust to say, is this a good thing for us to get single payer? He would probably be the only one I would believe. The rest of these motherfuckers, I don't believe. All of these motherfuckers lie. Bernie would probably be the only one I would believe about single payer.
Gentleman yields. Gentleman from California reserves. Gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 3 minutes to the gentleman from.
I'm reading about single payer now. I'm gonna start. If it's good, I'm gonna start advocating for that. We need something to help all of us. If this helps all of us, then I'm advocating for it.
Texas, Mr. Gill.
Gentleman from Texas is recognized.
No, they keep vilifying. They keep vilifying the insurance companies. They know damn well them insurance company people make a lot of money, and they know damn well they be covering for them employers, those insurance companies. These people in Congress get lobbied by insurance companies.
Thank you, Chairman Comer, for yielding time on this important issue. I strongly oppose this bill because it would jeopardize our national security and locks in harmful last-minute agreements from the Biden administration. Union bosses love this bill for one reason, and that's because it protects their telework perks. It shields them from accountability and gives them effective veto power over a duly elected president with a mandate to clean up a bloated federal bureaucracy.
Why you in here fucking crashing out, Jesus M. Garcia? Why you in here crashing the fuck out? We got a vibe going in this chat. We got a vibe going in. We starting to take our power back from these suckers in fucking Washington. You come in here talking goofy logic vibe. You ain't on the page we on. We on the page of how we can help us Americans. Americans first. Everybody wants to help the poor people. Everybody wants to help the rich people, but they never want to help the rest of us who in the middle. I'm looking to help the rest of us in the middle. I don't know what you doing, but I'm trying to help the rest of us in the middle. And we're not talking about Republicans or Democrats. We're talking about how the hell we can help us.
Specifically, this legislation would nullify President Trump's executive order.
No, I'm gonna start talking about single payer health care. Can single payer health care help all of us, regardless of whether we Republican or Democrat? Tell me I'm lying. And if it can help both of us, either way it go, then we fucking need to be talking about it. We need to be getting our people on board. We need to be getting our senators and our congressmen on board to figure out how they can give us single payer. Okay? I don't care about whether it's Democrat or Republican. I want to push the country forward, and the country got to be America first. And America first means helping all of us, not just the rich, not just the poor, all of us.
Entitled
I know, I hate that like hell. I hate that like hell, Eric. I hate that like hell.
Exclusions from federal labor management relations programs. The executive order wisely designated various agencies as having a national security focus as their primary functions and exempts them from collective bargaining. Union officials do not and should not have the right to use their collective bargaining power to undermine President.
You know what? From here on out, I ain't finna talk about no Democrat or no Republicans unless it's just absolutely necessary. I'm gonna start talking about America first. I'm gonna start talking about America first. We need to put America first, and we need to be putting the government up to what we want, regardless of whether we are Republican or Democrat. We need to be telling them we want America first. And America first, okay, shut the borders down. Okay, get all the idiots out of here that don't belong here. Okay, let's start talking about, can we get some health care for us? We paying for health care for other countries. Let's get some health care for us. Stop sending money over to other people before we can help us first. This is what I'm going to start. I'm going to start advocating for us first, period.
Trump and jeopardize our national security. One example of this, just fairly recently, is ICE not being able to modify cyber.
I'm sorry, I never be saying it. Y'all hit the like button, share button. We have this content like every day. We like to flesh out problems. No fighting, no goofiness, just people in here talking about solutions and having things go right. I hate that they gave that damn money to Argentina, but we can't be letting them do that shit no more, Travis. We need to be checking these people. You gonna put America first. You gonna put America first. We gonna learn y'all. We gonna school y'all into doing what y'all need to do for us first. I don't know. Am I yelling? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Cybersecurity policies without giving its union bosses an
I don't know no scams. I don't know jack shit about scams. I'm just straight up and down. I don't know anything about that.
opportunity to negotiate delaying needed cybersecurity updates. In another example, union bosses threatened to block the Office of Personnel Management from implementing basic IT security controls.
Okay, we're going to put that behind us. The money for the food, we're going to put that behind us. We need to figure out what's going on with this farmer thing. We need to figure out how we can start talking about universal health care. We got to start talking. We got to bring solutions. We can't be bringing no goofy shit. We got to start bringing solutions to these people, to the local to our local, people, elected officials. We got to start bringing that stuff to our local people. We need universal health care. We need y'all to start advocating for us to get universal health care. We need y'all to have some kind of moratorium on rent. We need y'all to help the middle class. Am I lying or am I not? Every time people be talking, they always talking about the real poor people and they always talking about the rich people. They never talk about the people in the middle. Yeah, you can see my channel, believe. You can see all my, oh, I'm sorry. Are you talking to me, yours? Yes. Oh, okay. We don't, oh, you talking about Ripley. Yeah, so this is what I'm going to start doing. The rent thing, that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know about y'all, but that's crazy. I don't care. I'm going to start talking about to some of our local officials. We need y'all to start advocating for us to help. Okay, somehow, some way. You're going to have to learn and figure out how to help us. The rent thing, how we can get some kind of, look, why we can't get some kind of rent thing where they say if you have a 2-bedroom or a 1-bedroom, you can only charge X, Y, and Z for a 2-bedroom. You can only charge $1,200 for a 2-bedroom. You can't charge no more. You can charge between X and Z to charge for that. You can't charge the American people because we need to get our spending and we need to get our rent and we need to get our people out of the ditch. So we need you to do X, Y, and Z. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm just talking. We got to start throwing ideas out there. That's all I'm saying.
There's a troubling pattern where union bosses block measures that they don't like, forgetting that they work for the American people and not the other way around. The president's executive order also improves care for veterans. On August 6th, 2025, the VA announced that it is terminating most union contracts to comply with the executive order. Employees at the VA currently spend 750,000 hours engaging not in care for veterans, but in union activities. That is every single year. The president's executive order will lead VA employees to spend more time helping veterans.
Well, I ain't mad at no 50-year mortgage. I ain't mad at that. I mean, even if they throw the mortgage up there and say, even if they say 35 months, or even if they say 40 months, I mean, take it to 40 months. You know what I'm saying? Take it to 40 months for 10 years and then X, Y, and Z and then blah, blah, blah. I mean, something like that. You know what I'm saying? We could do something like that.
And less time in union activities.
mortgage control. We can do something like that. I don't know.
But it goes even further. This bill forbids the Trump administration from unwinding any collective bargaining agreement signed before March 26, 2025. After Democrats lost the 2020.
No, I don't know. I'm just saying why you can't take everybody's mortgage down to 1% or something like that. Take everybody's mortgage down to 1%. Whoever wants their mortgage to be down to 1%, and take it to, instead of 30 years, take it to 35 years. Then take everybody's mortgage down to 1%. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to figure out ways to help us. People who actually, I'm just looking for ways to help us. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how we could do that. Take everybody mortgage down to 1%, and then instead of 30 months, be 35 months. That'll lower our mortgage for real. That'll lower mortgages, and then go raise the minimum wage. Maybe not to $20, but at least raise it to $15 or something. I'm just trying to figure out how we can advocate to help. We can advocate to help the middleman, because the middleman always getting fucked over. We always getting fucked over. It's always about the poor getting housing, poor getting Section 8, poor getting food stamps, poor getting X, Y, and Z, and the people that make over X amount of dollars don't get nothing. I'm trying to help the people that make over X amount of dollars who don't ever get nothing. That's all I'm talking about. I don't know.
24 elections, the Biden administration hurried to ink multi-year deals that they...
Yeah, that could be cool too, Robert. That could be cool too.
Knew they would never have to enforce, deliberately tying the hands of their successors.
Yeah, that could be cool.
And rewarding union leadership on their way out. One example is especially egregious in a deal with the Social Security Administration, a deal that allows maximum telework, prohibits management from reducing it, and applies 98.5% of the agency's workforce.
I yield the gentleman an additional minute.
Without objection.
The Protect America's Workforce Act is nothing short of an attempt to prevent President Trump from reforming the federal bureaucracy. It undermines national security and rewards union.
I'm saying as a collective, we got to figure out how we can turn this to our advantage. We got to figure out how to turn this to our advantage. That's all I'm saying. Free health, universal health care, just like Medicaid, Medicare. If everybody takes Medicare, Medicare, if everybody takes it, then it'll be high quality. It'll be high quality. It'll be good. Then we ain't got to worry about paying for extra Y and Z. I went to the doctor the other day, and I walked into the door, and I was just going to see, what was wrong with me, why I was having a pain in my back. I walked in the door, and they told me $175. I walked right back out the damn door. I said, what? I got medical insurance, and I got to pay $175? You can keep that? Shit.
Bosses who think that they run the government. I urge opposition and yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields. Gentleman from Kentucky reserves, and gentleman from California is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to yield 1 minute to the Democratic leader, Representative Jeffries.
Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to also thank, of course, the distinguished gentleman from the great state of California, Representative Garcia, for his leadership, and of course, thank Representative Golden for his leadership in pushing this legislation forward. I rise today in strong support of the Protect America's Workforce Act, legislation that will restore the collective bargaining rights of more than 1 million hardworking federal employees, patriotic public servants who've been targeted viciously by the Trump administration from the very beginning of his time in office, unnecessarily and in ways that undermine some of the core promises, Mr. Speaker, that Donald Trump made to the American people last year. Donald Trump and Republicans promised that you would focus on lowering costs on day one. But costs haven't gone down in the United States of America. Costs have gone up. Inflation on the way up. Housing costs out of control. Childcare costs out of control. Electricity bills out of control. Grocery costs out of control. And healthcare costs skyrocketing out of control, including because of the Republican refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits. Instead of Donald Trump and Republicans, Mr. Speaker, keeping your core promise to the American people to make their life better, instead, you've been focusing on a variety of other things that relate simply to jamming your extreme right-wing ideology down the throats of the American people, including by targeting organized labor, hardworking men and women, including those who are part of the federal workforce.
You know what? I'm sick of all of these people in this I'm sick of all of these people, including them. I'm sick of them all because you never do anything for us. They never do anything for us.
What is it that federal employees do each and every day to make sure that they're providing services to the American people? Well, the list is too numerous to mention, but we know that hardworking federal employees are public servants. Each and every day are working hard to make sure that hard-earned Social Security benefits are delivered to the American people, that Medicare benefits are delivered to the American people, that the food that we eat is disease-free, that we can enjoy our national parks all across the country, that aviation safety and the ability to get from your point of departure to your point of destination, flying airplanes in order to see your loved ones, that's safe. Of course, our hardworking federal employees are working hard to make sure that veterans receive their earned benefits. These people, instead of being targeted by Donald Trump and Republicans, should be supported for the work that they do on behalf of the American people. We also know that when it comes to improving the quality of life of everyday Americans, that there's a lot of repair work that must occur to restore the American dream that is disappearing from folks all across this country. The American people know that the Trump administration and Republican policies have been a disaster.
You all hit the like, share, and subscribe. We always have this content during the day because I want to see what bullshit they running their mouth on. Are they trying to give us health care or they just running their bullshit? This is what I like to listen to every day. Are you working for the American people or are y'all just talking? Who is talking? Is anybody working for us? The ones that make between 30,000 and 150. Are you working for us or are you all just talking every day? Not doing anything, just talking. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe. We have content like this every day. I appreciate it. Let's go.
In this great country as Democrats, we believe that when you work hard and play by the rules, you should be able to live an affordable life, a comfortable life, live the good life. What exactly does that mean? Good paying job, good housing, good health care, good education for your children, and at the end of the day, a good retirement. That's the good life. That's the American dream. And for far too many people, it's out of reach. But we know that perhaps no force has been more proactive in delivering access to that American dream than the men and women of organized labor, decade after decade after decade. Why would Donald Trump and Republicans focus, Mr. Speaker, on targeting hardworking public employees, targeting unions, and targeting the men and women of organized labor? Is it because my Republican colleagues are too consumed with enacting massive tax breaks for your billionaire donors, which is what the one big ugly bill was all about, but have zero interest in lifting up the quality of life of hardworking American taxpayers, including, but not limited to, the men and women of our federal workforce? It was my understanding, Mr. Speaker, that my Republican colleagues believed in freedom. Well, collective bargaining essentially is the freedom to negotiate the best possible work environment to allow these public employees to continue to deliver services that are effective and efficient for the American people. And yet, instead of focusing on driving down the high cost of living in America, which is out of control, yes, there is an affordability crisis in the United States of America, notwithstanding the fact, Mr. Speaker, that Donald Trump apparently believes it's a hoax. The American people know it's not a hoax. Instead of focusing on trying to find common sense solutions to make life better for the American people, Donald Trump and my Republican colleagues continue to just jam their extreme ideology down the throats of the American people while working overtime.
Wait a minute, that's the thing you need to get over. It's not because just Democrats. It's because of Republicans and Democrats. It's because of them all. First of all, you have to think, what did this big, beautiful bill do for us between the incomes of 30 and 150? That big, beautiful bill did nothing for us between those amounts of wages. Not one thing. Both sides screwed us over. I hate that when I see people in the chat say it's just Democrats, it's just Republicans. No, it's not. Both of them screwed us over. Both the sides have screwed us over, and we ain't got shit to show for it. I don't know about y'all, but I take tally of what I did for the year at the end of the year. I take a tally of what the fuck I'm doing. Am I better off yet last year than I was this year? I'm going to take a tally again, and then we're going to see what the fuck is going on. Both sides are fucking scum. That's why we need to hold them accountable for the things that we want. We want X, Y, and Z. We want you to put some kind of hold on mortgages and rent. We want you to give us some kind of health insurance where it's universal and we all get good health insurance and we ain't got to pay out our ass. We have to do something. Because all we do go back and forth. You're a Democrat. We can't stand Democrat. We can't stand Trump. We can't. No, we need to be fighting these people from poor to rich. Poor people need to be starting to fight with these rich people. No, I don't want X, Y, and Z. What I want you to do is make my rent cheaper. What I want you to do is make groceries go down. I want you to negotiate with those goddamn food producers and tell them they need to lower their goddamn prices. Otherwise, you ain't gonna give them tax breaks or something. You need to do something. Okay. Universal health care. We need single payer health care. All of us need single payer health care. We need to do something. We need to stop fighting each other and start fighting these goons that's in Washington.
To benefit your billionaire donors. That's why I'm thankful for this bipartisan effort to restore collective bargaining rights for more than 1 million public servants who are part of the federal government. And I urge a yes vote. Do the right thing by the federal workforce.
Why are they trying to take away collective bargaining? I don't think that's such a good idea, trying to take away collective bargaining. What the hell is going on?
Do the right thing by the men and women of organized labor, and do the right thing when it comes to ensuring that everyone has a path to experiencing the American dream. I yield back.
Gentleman from New York.
Y'all notice that they don't never do nothing for people who make between 30,000 and 150,000. Y'all notice they don't do jack shit for us. You notice that they don't do jack shit for us. It's always give them a check, give them $2,000, give them $5,000. They'll be happy to be poor for the rest of the year. By the time I get that $2,000, that'll be my damn rent and my car note. I ain't got no more money. It'll help me, but it ain't going to really help me. I need long-term help. We need long-term help, not these little checks and shit like that.
New York yields. The gentleman from California reserves. The gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
That was a long minute, Mr. Speaker, for the leader of the Democrat Party to advocate for more work from home policies from our federal employees. I think the American people have spoken loud and clear. They support our federal employees like the Republican Party, but we expect them to show up for work, not get paid from home and not be accessible by phone or by computer or by email. And that's what we heard from the leader of the Democrat Party. I reserve my time.
Gentleman from Kentucky reserves.
Sometimes I can't be listening to these freaking people because I know they be lying. They all friends. They are friends. Y'all think they ain't friends? They all friends and they be scamming. I don't trust you Democrats or you Republicans. Y'all all scamming to take our money. Y'all just taking our money. You just gave $40 billion away to Argentina without even saying jack shit about it. You just said, fuck it, give them $40 billion. Just giving away our money. I don't like that shit at all. That right there put something in my craw. I don't care. You gave $40 billion to people and we can't get shit. Us people between 30,000 and 150,000, we can't get shit. But you give away $40 billion. I ain't with that shit. I don't know what y'all do. I ain't with that shit.
Gentleman from California is recognized.
Thank you. I yield a minute and a half to Representative Krishnamurthy.
Gentleman from Illinois is recognized for 1.5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in strong support of H.R. 2550. This bipartisan bill reverses an illegal executive order that stripped collective bargaining rights from roughly 67% of the federal workforce, so more than 2/3 of the federal workforce. Removing their limited bargaining rights does not improve efficiency. It threatens the integrity of our civil service. These rights exist for one essential reason: to shield federal employees from political pressure so they serve the American people, not the agenda of any one president or political party. No worker should have to take a political loyalty test to receive or keep his or her job. The Protect America's Workforce Act restores a balanced, targeted framework that respects national security while reaffirming the rights of those who serve us. I urge all members to support this legislation and restore these protections for over 1 million federal workers. Again, this particular legislation is about no political loyalty tests having to be administered to workers in the federal government. They are
Obamacare messed a lot of people over. Insurance can't fuck you over. You just got a premium that you got to pay. What do you mean it messed you over? I don't understand what that means. That don't make sense to me. That it messed you over. How did Obamacare mess you over? It's just paying for insurance. How?
accountable to the American people. I yield back.
Gentleman from Illinois yields. Gentleman from California.
It's always gonna be poor people. It's always stop beating down on the poor people. That's a bad look too. We need to stop beating down on the poor people and worry about the people that's in the middle. We advocating for the people in the middle. We don't care about the poor. The poor gonna get taken care of one way or the other. We need to start advocating for middle of the road people. We need to start advocating for us. Skip them poor people. We need to be advocating for us regular people.
Reserves. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Kentucky.
Reserve.
Gentleman from Kentucky reserve.
We got the smartest fucking people on the planet. We got the smartest fucking people on the planet. Tell me I'm not lying. Tell me I'm lying. Why y'all can't come up with a way to make America work and us pay our bills back? Why can't somebody come up with a way to make America work so that we can pay our bills back and we can have a better way of life? Why they can't do that? We got some of the smartest people on this planet. Why the fuck can't we figure this out? That's crazy.
Reserves. Gentleman from California are recognized.
Thank you. I'd like to yield 1 minute to Representative Randall.
Lady from Washington is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Ranking Member Garcia, Congressman Golden, for the opportunity to speak on
She got on a leather green dress. And what in the fuck does she have on? What am I looking at? Oh my.
The Protecting America's Workforce Act. I represent 27,000 federal employees who have been through an incredibly challenging year marked by reckless DOJ firings, chaotic rehirings, and unprecedented uncertainty. They've been stripped of their ability to collectively bargain through President Trump's March executive order. They've been subjected to harassment and questioning of their political loyalties for nonpartisan positions. They live in constant fear that they may lose their job due to illegal reduction in force efforts that the administration has been trying to get away with. As a result, we are losing talented and highly skilled workers at rates we can't afford. And for naval-based Kitsap, which includes sub-base Bangor and the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard and Intermediate Maintenance Facility.
I am so with you, Travis. Stop arguing amongst us and start figuring out ways to make these goons, these ghouls in Washington help us. Figure out a way for them to help us. Okay? Figure out a way to help us. Because we got to figure out how that single payer work. We just got to figure out how that works. How we can make them pay for that. We got to figure this out. We got to figure this shit out.
That is a national security issue. I'm a proud former union member and the daughter of a union members, and I will always.
No, I have never seen a green leather dress. A green leather dress, and it looked like her nipples. Wait a minute, let me shut up.
Fight to protect union rights. And what's true about Kitsap, where I grew up, is that we are not red or blue, but we're a union town. That's why I was proud to co-sponsor this bill, a proud signer of the discharge petition, and today will be a proud yes vote on passage. Thank you. I yield back.
No, there's countries out there that have single-payer health care. We need to figure out how, and people are going to say it costs too much money. No, it's cheaper to get universal. It's cheaper to get single-payer health care. I know, right, Travis? What the fuck? It's cheaper to get and in Congress. What in the fuck is going on? It's better to get single payer health care. Figure out how we can do it. We can figure out how the fuck to do it. Okay? We should be able to afford single payer. Because I'm saying single payer because single payer it's less complicated. Everybody's covered. Then we ain't got to have these fucking issues we just don't have to have these kind of issues. It would be simpler.
Gentleman, Jalen Lady's time has expired. The gentleman from California reserves. Gentleman from Kentucky reserves. Gentleman from California is recognized.
Their job is to try to keep us poor. That's the bottom line. Their job is to try to keep us poor. Not if everybody has single payer health care. That's not how that works. Why wouldn't it be just like we do it now? Everybody don't get sick at the same time. That don't even make sense. Not everybody gets sick at the same time. People know how to do it. They're just trying to keep us poor. They're just trying to keep us fighting. They're just trying to keep us down.
1 minute.
My wife was rushed to the hospital, stayed for a day. All she paid was $56. See, it can be done. Yeah, everybody pay a certain amount. Okay, let's just say everybody got to pay, I don't know, $40 a month towards single pay medicine, towards help to pay for the doctors, help to pay for the hospital. Everybody, and that's it. Because most people got to pay weekly out of their check or whatever. So most people say, just for example, most people got to pay $150, $160 if you ain't no sick person, right? $150, $160 a month for insurance. We can figure this shit out. This shit can be figured out.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today not just in support of H.R. 2550, but in support of the right to collectively bargain. This is not a policy idea. It's a lifeline that ensures fair wages, safe workplaces, and the basic dignity every worker deserves. Unions like AFGE, laborers, and I.
No, we're not saying that you don't have to. We're not saying that you can't pay for your own. You know, you can pay for your own insurance. You can get the universal, you can get the single payer stuff, and then you can get some extra insurance for, I don't know, boob job, you know, that extra shit. You know what I'm saying? You pay for the extra insurance if you want to get the boob job or you want to get whatever. But regular basic needs, doctor, cold, flu, heart attack, X, Y, and Z, all that shit should be free. All that shit should be under the single payer. Okay. Socialism makes everybody, we already have a form of socialism here already, John. They already have Medicaid and Medicare here, John. What are you talking about? We already got it here. It's just a matter of extending it to everybody.
IBW stand on the front lines defending American federal workforce. AFG represents federal workers, and in my district, there are 10,000.
Hell yeah, they are toe. Hell yeah, they are toe cutter. They scamming us. They trying to bitch about, you want to give the insurance companies money. No, y'all getting kickbacks. All y'all getting kickbacks. You know what? As a matter of fact, I got to start looking up some of y'all names to see what kind of people paying y'all. Because y'all trying to keep all of us poor people, y'all trying to keep us down. Something is going on.
1,000 of them. These men and women care for veterans, help seniors receive timely Social Security payments, and serve as correctional officers at Canaan Prison, just to name a few.
Shut your mouth, fuck Musk. Shut your mouth.
When their collective bargaining rights are stripped, they are left without the stability, fairness, and
that's what we gonna have to. I'm gonna start looking these damn congressmen up. Why the hell you can't give us universal health care? Because y'all in the pockets of them. Y'all in the pockets of them insurance companies. Because y'all been in their pocket and y'all been lying to us, saying that we couldn't afford it when we know we can. That's crazy.
respect they deserve. Likewise, the laborers union who build and maintain the infrastructure this country runs on, and the IBW who work in dangerous conditions at military bases and power plants depend on these rights to ensure proper training and enforce a safety protocol that prevents accidents and saves lives. Mr. Speaker, I'm proud to help spring the Protect America's Workforce Act.
I'm sorry, y'all hit the like, share, and subscribe. We have content like this. I love to have discussions like this, how we can make America better, how we can put America first, America first, America always first. Everything else comes second, third, and fourth, but America first. And on top of that, the middle class need to start coming first. The middle class need to start coming first. We need, because we the backbone of this country. We make this country run. We make this country what it is. We make this country American. We make this country. We need to be making them, hold them accountable so they can help us. I'm tired of getting screwed over because we middle class, because we in the middle. Oh, y'all don't need no help. Y'all got a job. No, you need to help us. The working poor between 30,000 and 150. You need to start helping us. That's what y'all need to start doing.
To the floor today, and I look forward to its passage. I yield.
Gentleman from Pennsylvania yields.
We do the most hard labor in this country. We do. Not the poor people. Hey, nothing wrong with the poor people. I get it. The poor people, okay, cool. But you need to help the middle class, and then we will drag the poor people behind us. We will drag the poor people behind us. But the middle class got to be leading the road. We got to be leading because you need us. You need us. That's it.
California.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to yield 1 minute to Representative Lawler.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman from New York is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in strong support of H.R. 2550, Protecting America's Workforce Act.
No, the plan is, but we finna figure out how we gonna come back. We finna figure out how we gonna come back. Forget this. We gonna cause we keep rolling like hamsters on a wheel. I'm tired of rolling like a hamster on the wheel. We need to come up. We need to do better than what we're doing. Our parents did better than us, and that's fucked up. Our parents did better than us. That's not how it's supposed to be. Not at all. I don't want no damn government handout. I don't want y'all to give me shit. I want you to give me the opportunity. Give us our just due. Give us our just due in money. Give us our just due in housing. Give us our just due. We ain't asking for shit. We ain't asking for shit. We don't want shit. Give us our just due. Give us what we deserve because you riding our back. Because you riding our back. That's what you do. Give us what we deserve because y'all been riding our back. That's all I'm saying.
Earlier this year, an executive order changed the collective bargaining status of tens of thousands of federal workers. These are career public servants, many of them veterans, who show up every single day to serve our country. Every American deserves a voice in the workplace.
No, what we're going to do, we're going to insist on that border staying closed for 5 years. Close the border for 5 years. Get the criminals, all and get them the fuck up out of here. Get them the fuck up out of here. Raise our wages a little bit. Okay. Raise our wages a little bit. Give us our just due. Make a housing so we can afford it. Take the housing down, the interest rate to zero, or for 5 years. Do something. Okay. Do something. We need drastic shit. Let's get it, y'all.
And that includes the people who keep our government running and open. Ensuring collective bargaining rights strengthens our federal work.
Oh, holy shit. Holy shit. I gotta go. Oh shit. I forgot. I was supposed to pick somebody up. Holy shit from the airport. Holy shit. You all hit the like, share, and subscribe button. I will be back later. Shit. I will be back later. Please. This is kind of discussion I like. When we shit. I will see you. I'll be later. I'll be back later. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe. This is the kind of content we have every day. I love these discussions. We need to bring up more ideas about how we gonna make these people give us our just due as middle class people. Give me my fucking money. Give me my just due. Don't give me no handout. Don't give me no Doge check. Just give me what the fuck I deserve as a middle class. I gotta go. Hit the like, share, subscribe. I'll be back.